breakdown sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's all crazy. Anyway, and welcome back to All Sides Podcast. We're a little short today, but that's life because people got responsibilities. June's here with me. You know what I'm saying, June? How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on, Frank? Yep. Like LIFE sometimes happens to a few of us, and it happens to them too, and it's
Hey,
okay.
it's true because people don't realize that for most of us, we have jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm retired, so I'm home, but I have my own business I run. You work, got your family and your own business. So when we sit down and do this, we really taking time off of other
Right.
for this right now. Right now it's family time for us. We're East Coast, so it's 8:30 and we're recording. You know, it's a sacrifice we make to produce some content for our people out there, our listeners. So some topics going on in football. I'm gonna start off with the Tua and Trevor Lawrence. They're both coming up for a contract. A lot of hype behind it. And I'm gonna ask you first, and then I'll give you mine. Do you think that the Miami Dolphins should pay Tua, and should the Jacksonville Jaguars pay Tua? And when I say pay, I'm not talking about they're talking about paying these guys, making them the next highest paid quarterbacks. So if you felt like, okay, so if you're gonna pay him, yes, and why? Of no and why? Which one would you pay, or are you paying both?
I wouldn't pay Trevor,
Okay.
and I wouldn't pay Trevor, man, and as crazy as it seems, I would pay Tua, but I wouldn't make him the highest. Um,
Okay.
I think that as crazy as it sounds, but I think one of them is proven and one of them isn't. And I'm not talking like stats or anything like that. Those stats come into a factor. I'm thinking more so the situations that they've been in and under, and what they've done with the opportunities that they've had. And though Tua didn't win the Super Bowl, though Tua didn't get to the championship game or whatnot, at this point we're thinking Tua came from a place where I thought he was done. I honestly thought the NFL was crazy for allowing this man uh, to come back into the NFL and put his life in danger. And what he ended up doing, man, he went back and he played and made those adjustments. One, to keep himself out of harm's way, and two, to prove to the world that he wasn't done, and he could uh he wasn't done, and he could still maneuver and be a successful quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would pay Tua. I think he's playing to the caliber of his draft pick. Um, and I just wasn't making that high. I wasn't making no top three highest paid quarterback. There's no way.
Okay.
Um, and Trevor Lawrence, no, I never really had high expectations from him. Every time he gets under pressure, he folds. And I think last year's playoff game was a true example of what he's capable of doing under pressure, which is folding and making those decisions. And I hate to say it, but those dumb decisions that cost him the game. Yeah, the coach had something to do with it, but he's out there in the field making the play.
Okay. So I was watching. I'm saying don't pay any of them, and if you are gonna pay him, don't make him the highest paid player. You like you said. I would wait with Trevor. If I was Trevor, I'm gonna wait. And here's why. I have this year. Let me see what I go out there and do. Because if I can go out there and make it to the division rounds, maybe even to the AFC championship and not go all the way, but at least I went a little further in the playoffs. Now I'm showing you that I'm that guy. Right? Last year they started off good and then he got hurt and his numbers kind of dropped and they didn't do much. With Tua, injuries. When is that ugly head of the concussions gonna pop out again?
Mm.
But the Dolphins did something. They paid Waddle. We're gonna talk about that later. But they paid Waddle. They extended him. So now they got Waddle. They got Tyreek. They have a tight end. They have running backs. They have a good line. So he's got what he needs. So like you said, I would probably pay him. I wouldn't pay him a Burrow or Herbo money, or I'm paying him where he belongs. And Trevor, I would wait to sign it, bro. So with the conversation of all these different quarterbacks, and on Speak, Joy Taylor mentioned, oh well, he's won talking about Trevor, he's won one playoff game. He deserves 54. He deserves to get paid. If you was a franchise, you was an owner, let's say owner of the Eagles, and you had to pay your quarterback, what is the criteria that you're going to measure that payoff, right? Because in my opinion, the only person that could demand a certain pay and get it in the NFL at quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Because he's not only been to 4 Super Bowls and won 3, he's shown you that I don't need to have great wide receivers. I'm gonna win. And they find, and not only did he do it being home field advantage for 2 of them, but then he goes on the road and does it this time when a lot of people counted them out. Took down Buffalo, took down Lamar at home and Buffalo at home. So it's like he can demand, hey, I want 54, 50, 60 mil a year, and I'm gonna give it to you because you've proven that you could win. These other guys can't. What is your criteria, or what do you think they should start measuring it before they pay him?
Progress and opportunity execution, right? And what I mean by that is, what progress have you made since you've been in that team? And when I say opportunity execution, how have you executed in the opportunity that you've been given? And this is going to sound biased in a way, kind of, but I don't think it is. So I'm going to take Jalen Hurts, for example, right? He
Mhm.
took that year that he was eliminated by Brady. And that year, it was kind of like a weird off year. And my concern as a fan was like, damn, can he make those necessary adjustments going into the following season? And if can he utilize his strengths? And when he gets to those situations, what decisions is he going to make? And then that following year, yeah, he went to the Super Bowl. He had a hell of numbers or whatnot. And when I say opportunity execution, is he went to the Super Bowl and he executed as well as any good quarterback or above average quarterback can do. Um, so uh, it didn't take him 5 years to sit here and make those necessary adjustments to progress. So
Mhm.
when I say if I'm the owner, I'm gonna base it off, man, can this guy adjust now, not 3 years from now, because we need to win now. And when he's in those tight situations, can he execute well? Because we don't have time to execute later on. And that's how I would measure it. Well, I measure it off of appearances to the different games, stuff like that. Yes and no, but not really, because you can't really play defense, So, and it's a team concept. So that's what I would measure it off of. Um, Adjustment to progress and opportunity execution.
That's a good way to look at it. And I think that's what a lot of teams are doing. It's like, hey, can he get us to that next level and where's he at? Um, I personally don't want to measure it off successive playoffs, right? Because like we said, Justin Herbert was up 28 points on them. If his defense would have did their job and stopped the Jacksonville Jaguars, we wouldn't even be having they probably would have been deep into the run and maybe could have been even further. We don't know. Um, but I do feel like sometimes what I start seeing in the market, and you could agree or disagree with it, is that I feel what we're seeing is, well, Julio got paid 53 million.
Mm.
Pete's on his way. He's next in line, so he should get 54 million. And James is next, so he should get 55. And Frank is next after that in 3 or 4 years, so he should get 57 because the cap is going to be higher. So now he could reset the market. And I feel like that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing people that don't deserve it getting it just because the previous person got paid. We kind of saw the same thing when Deshaun Watson got the 230 fully guaranteed, right? Everybody starts coming out. I want guaranteed money. I want guaranteed money. But let's be real. That was a desperate measure by a desperate team. You know what I'm saying? So not
Hmm.
every team's going to do that, especially when they have common sense and they're not desperate. So what is your take on that? Do you think that the league is paying these guys not based on, like you said, progression and stuff like that, but more on, oh well, Burrow got paid this, so naturally the next person got to get paid this.
Mm. I think it's almost set. It's just like to me, it's set by the man. It's set by these teams, man, that keep on doing things like about to pay Trevor Lawrence, just because. What is the just because, man? When are those reasons behind your decision going to actually come into play?
Yeah,
And man, it goes. Dang, what was that thing? I think it was you that posted it on chat. Um, what Tom Brady when he was talking to the rookies,
bro. I was about to look
and
it up. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it right now. I did post it.
man, I love what he said, man. You're playing more after your brand and your paycheck or something along the lines than and the way that I understood it was than building that team around you. And when you're playing for yourself, you're never going to win. And I thought that was dope, you know. So I
Yeah,
think if you
I
play
found it.
unselfishly, yeah, if you play unselfishly, man, I think you're gonna be extremely successful.
I agree. I agree. I just wanted to take your take on it, and I'm gonna play the Brady clip. Hopefully, we don't get flagged for it. Listen, it's not on my page. This was a clip from Fanatics. When Michael Rubin had Jay-Z and Brady on to talk to the rookies, they did like a meeting. Brady was talking, and this is what he said. I'm gonna connect my phone to the my podcast thing. Hopefully, it'll play. But again, we don't own this. This was off. I'll give the website in a second. Brady, Michael Rubin, Fanatics, they put this up. So it's not ours. We don't own it. Damn it, man. It keeps doing that right here.
You have 53 guys on the team, and it's about you. It ain't about you. It's about us. And the biggest problem I see with a lot of the young players today, you guys are making it too much about I and me because of social media, because of branding and all that. It's fine. You're not going to win. There was a difference between being a star and being a champion.
Your talent gets you there. You know, your work ethic and your discipline takes you to where you want to be.
Every day of practice is important. You know why? Because when I was on the Patriots and we had 20 years winning, every day was a big day. I treated a preseason game, I treated a regular season like it was a Super Bowl. So when I got to the Super Bowl, it was just another day for me.
You got to know who you are because those moments going to come. You're going to be down 28-0. You got to say, all right, I know who I am. I'm going to go get it.
I'm unrelenting. Like I will not quit.
So that was Jay-Z, Michael Rubin, and Brady at Michael Rubin's event for Fanatics with the rookies. And I agree, bro. When I heard it and I read it and I saw it, I sent it to you. I sent it to the other chat. And I see, I think that people forget this is a team. I think people forget that in football and basketball too, right? We see in the finals now. We see the playoffs. We see the teams where they're not getting support from the bench or whatever. They kind of struggle. But in football, it's that team around you. You know, I'm a Brady fan and everybody knows it. And one thing I've always said about Brady, he never got paid the most. I want to say Brady made under $300 million his whole time in the NFL playing for 20 plus years. And Brady's going to get 325, 350 million from Fox to do a broadcasting for 10 years. So he literally is making more money for Fox than he did playing. And he has the most ring out of any franchise in NFL history. But NFL's been over in business for over 100 years. And Brady has 7 rings more than the Steelers and the Patriots, who will both have 6. So to me, if he's telling you this, listen, guys, I get it. You want a brand, NIL, all that good stuff. Look, that's dope. You want to make the most money. But guess what? You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Because look, right now, look at the Bengals. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they got to get paid. They said now OTAs. Burrow got paid. So you got to win. You need a team to win. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the quarterback, what do you say? Or give me all the money, and then I can throw the bumps. But we haven't seen Joe Burrow without T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So what Brady's saying is true. Get outside like Caleb Williams. Oh, I want to own stock in the team. I want to do this. Bro, you're not even in OTAs, they benched you. You threw 7 interceptions in a row. In OTAs, where you're not even getting hit, you know, it's they can't even touch you. You threw 7 picks. So I think Brady was right, and I think hit on the head. I think these quarterbacks, yeah, it's dope to get paid, bro. Listen, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, what are you playing for? I guess that's the question I would ask a GM or owner, or the owner or GM of a team, if I'm one, to the player that's in front of me as a quarterback, and say, okay, Trevor, Tua, what is that you want? Because I can make you the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. But now I
Mm-hmm.
can't no weapons and I can't bring nobody in. I can't pay that offensive line to protect you. So are you here for money or are you here for championships? But nobody gives a shit. Look, Nick Foles, he got one ring. Forever, his rest of his life, he will be a name that's remembered because he won Super Bowl 52. Think about it. Eli Manning, a mediocre quarterback, a 500 quarterback, a quarterback that led the league in interceptions and more than once. 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I would want the team go get the weapons. I'll take a pay cut. Mahomes restructured his deal twice already since he got the $500 million. Twice he restructured. Mahomes got 3 rings. So, you know, I agree with Brady on that topic, and I agree with a lot of people. You got to know your self-worth, but you also have to understand that without being able to pay the rest of the team, how are you going to win?
And I think that goes right back to that conversation we had last year or the year before that. What's more important to you, the contract or winning a Super Bowl when you're playing in these sports, whether it's basketball or hockey or whatever the case is. What's more important to you? Do you play the game for the big money contract? And I'm not saying it's wrong, just like Brady said. Hey, and it's okay. You're not gonna win, you
Yep.
know. So that's in my opinion. Hey, oh gosh, who said it? Who said it recently? When they said um gosh, they were looking for a team. He already got the money. Now he wants the ring.
Queen
Um,
Queen said he didn't want to go to a team that's losing. He wants to win.
Gosh, it'll come to me shortly. I'm gonna look it
Wasn't
up
it Queen?
in a little bit. I'm not 100% sure,
He don't
but
have
the
the ring.
player did say that.
Queen doesn't have a ring. They asked Queen why did he go to, I guess, the Steelers and not somewhere else, and he said, "I could have went somewhere, but I don't want to lose. I want to win."
Yeah, so he took the Steelers for less money than what a lot of teams were offering him, including the Ravens.
Yep.
To ex-
Yep. So that's why he felt that by going to the Steelers, he has a chance of winning. Um, the fact is, and everybody welcome Bree. You know, she's one of our co-hosts that on the Play Call, also the main host and owner of the Bree Network. That's her platform. Our favorite gal who can talk sports with the best of them. She's joining us today, helping us fill out and have some topics. Welcome, Bree. So Bree, to backfill you, we talked about the Trevor and Tua. June brought up a good point on how he would pay a player if he was the GM. And we start talking about, people, how they paying these players now. Is it to max out everybody's contracts or should they get paid by criteria, right? We played the clip of Brady at the Fanatics meeting with Jay-Z and Rick and Michael Rubin. And basically, you can have all that, but it's okay, but you're not going to win. That's where we're at right now. That's what we're talking about, just in general. Like, these kids wanted this money and not haven't done anything to earn it. You know what I'm saying? And what do you want? So how would you look at it being the owner, let's say owner of the Steelers or the GM of the Steelers, and here you are, you have this young quarterback in front of you. Yeah, you guys have winning season, but it hasn't gone further than what maybe the first round of a postseason. How would you handle that situation with your quarterback? How would you pay him?
well, they would need to show me more because as a GM, I would want a franchise quarterback that I know I can get more than that, not just one good season of playoffs and then you're out after the wild card or you're out at the wild card round. So if I'm looking at these young quarterbacks that were drafted in 2020, right, that need to get paid and that have the potential of exceeding further and further, is not Tua or Trevor to me. to me, it's someone that no one's speaking about that got drafted with them, and that's Jordan Love.
That's a good twist. So you feel you would, I agree. I seen Jordan Love do something his first year with a young team with average receivers. He doesn't have the big names that's sticking out there. You know, he didn't
Yeah,
have
because he was
Calvin Ridley.
drafted late in the draft,
Yeah.
sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 2.5, 3, almost 3 years, and he's doing way more than what these first round quarterbacks are doing that got drafted in his same draft class.
So my question, okay, that's another. Let's bring this topic up then. It's totally off the hip. Do you, and this is June can answer this too after you go, do you feel it's important to sit behind a veteran quarterback?
Yes, I think that's absolutely important. It only works in some cases, and cases that it worked, like Lamar Jackson or CJ Stroud, like that's not going to work for everybody. That's not going to work for every organization. Not every quarterback is talented or can pick up that fast where they don't need to sit behind a veteran quarterback to be successful and do what they do, or what those two have done their rookie years. So I do think it's very important to sit behind a veteran quarterback.
All right, I like that, June.
Yeah, I agree with what Bree said. Not everyone has that skill set to adjust as fast as Lamar Jackson, and there's some very minute percentage that have been able to adjust and make progress.
Yeah, I think even for my team, they're talking about not starting Drake May, and I agree. We're not projected to win any games this season. Some people's got us getting the first round seat, getting the first pick in the draft next season. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't. I would let him sit. His mechanics need help. He still needs to progress. Some people might say Jacoby Brissett is not the veteran quarterback to watch, but he's played in the league. He got a ring with us. He started a game for us when Brady was.
He's experienced.
And he got experience.
That's also if you're going to sit behind a veteran quarterback, you need a veteran quarterback with experience, right? Yeah, that quarterback was on a team for 2 years, but do they have experience on the field? No, you need somebody with experience, and I feel like he has experience.
And I think it'd be good. And honestly, I think it'd be good for him. I don't think starting him would be the thing. I think the problem is, and we've seen it, first round pick, second round pick, especially first round, Trevor, number 1 pick overall, Burrow, 1 pick overall. And Burrow was kind of an anomaly, right? The first season, starting a whole season, he takes the team to the Super Bowl. Not the first rookie season, his second year, after he played that year he played a full year, he was 1 play away from in the Super Bowl. He took a 2-and-something team to the Super Bowl in just 2 years of being on the team, with 1 year really healthy. So you don't really get that too often. CJ Stroud, another guy, not having the big name wide receiver. Now you give him Stephon Diggs, and we're looking like, man, if this can work, Texans are looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? I agree. I think a player should sit. I think he should, even if it's a year, even if it's going to see, I think the problem is ownership. Everybody wants a ring. Everybody wants to win. We go, I give it, me, June, and Bree, we all serve. Bree's still active. When we go to award shows, right, and we don't see our sailors winning something, we're like, man, I want to win. I want my guys to win something too, especially in recruiting, right? You like saying that, like, bro, I know you better. Your station could put the numbers up. Let's get it. And you see, so what happens is these franchises, they go to owners' meetings, right? You go up there, you see Robert Kraft with 6, the Rooney's got 6, 49ers owners got 5. Everybody's got rings, and you're talking about championships, and you're talking about runs, and then you're looking at the Lions and the Bengals, and certain teams ain't never had one. The Bears ain't won a Super Bowl since '85. And you're like, man, fuck that. I'm just as good as these guys. I'm a billionaire too. I want rings. So you go get the first round pick, and instead of letting them mature, you worry about ticket sales. You worry about, all this other stuff that can hurt a quarterback instead of helping your franchise. And it could hurt the main player you're putting the money behind. With that being said, we're going to transition over. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase did not participate OTAs. They both sat out. Questions were why even Jamar Chase is saying now he's not up for a contract this year. He just wants a new contract. I'm going to start with June. How does this affect the Bengals, man? If these guys hold out, how does that affect? Especially OTAs. They say OTAs, it's where you start building the chemistry. It's not really like, bang, bang, hit. but that's when you start trying different plays out. That's when you look at the playbook. You start getting the timing down, and now your two best weapons aren't there. How does that hurt Burrow?
I think it goes a little bit of what you said earlier. We haven't seen Joe Burrow play without T. Higgins and without Jamar Chase, which to me have a huge factor in his success so far in the league, and it also ties in to what we're talking about here. You got the bag. He wants the bag. He wants the bag, and it's okay, but you're not going to win. Now, is this a movement that Burrow should have took, and he should have made that decision and said, "Hey, let's all three get together and let's all eat." Because at the same time, if we have that common goal to win that Super Bowl, um, this is what we should do. I think it's going to affect Burrow big time, huge, big time. They got a new running back, I believe, right?
Yeah.
They got a new running back. What's he gonna hand it to him? All game, and he's gonna throw.
Are they going to be the next Tennessee Titans where Derrick Henry just runs the ball?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a huge effect into Joe Burrow. I mean, he was hurt last year, so now he's really rusty as far as playing with his teammates.
Joe Jennings got paid. Waddle
Right.
got paid. T. Higgins wants to get paid. Bree, how would you handle this situation?
Me personally, I think we talked about it on Frank Presents the Play call. I don't know if it was offline or on the podcast. I don't remember, but I just wish quarterbacks were the way they were when Ben was a quarterback, Breeze was a quarterback, Brady was a quarterback, because quarterbacks were taking pay cuts in order to get their weapons paid to stay. So you should have never. I get it now. All these quarterbacks want to be the highest paid players, right? But when your organization don't have money to pay these top end receivers, they're going to up and bounce.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be stuck. Not every wide receiver is going to be a Jamar Chase. Not every wide receiver is going to be a T. Higgins. Yeah, I can get somebody who's in free agency, but are they going to perform the same way they've been performing for you? Especially with Jamar Chase, y'all have had chemistry since college.
Yeah. I agree. I tell you, me personally, and I'm like with June and you, if I was Joe, I'll come back. I'll say, let's restructure my deal.
Mm-hmm.
I need both of them. I need them both. And I don't want to let go of anyone. And I want to win. Again, what's more important? Yet millions of dollars you're going to make in this contract or winning championships. I've always said it. If you win rings, endorsements come. You win Super Bowls, endorsements coming. Trust me. You win a Super Bowl for the Bengals. They haven't won one ever. You're like Drew Brees. You'll be the Drew Brees of the Saints in New Orleans when he got him the ring in 09. You're going to be forever grateful. Change that city. So endorsements are going to come. Things are going to come your way. You're going to make the money back. And then guess what? After you win a Super Bowl, and you know what? At that point, you don't care about anything else. You know what you can do? I'll take the most money now. Because if you're demanding, let's say, $50 million a year now, imagine winning a Super Bowl, how much you can get. All you got to do is win one.
Yeah.
Get the monkey off your back, Bring something to an organization that hasn't had it. With that going on, so we talked about that. Waddle's extension. He got a 3-year extension for $84 million.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your take on that? How you feel about that?
So what I saw today was that there are 5 NFL teams that are paying 2 wide receivers at least $20 million per season. And that's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin.
So who was the one before DJ Moore? Who?
My ACR, hold on.
Okay. So the Bears. So Bears. Again, look, I'm investing in my weapons. Your GM, Howie said, look, I'm going to pay him. A.J. Brown got paid first. Devontae Smith got paid next. And between that, they paid motherfucking Hurts early. They got him out the way early. Let's go. You know, you still got your weapons out here. You got Goddard. You know, we went and got you. Is Saquon? I think Swift was a better. I feel Swift is better because he's younger. You know what I'm saying? And he was. I feel he's more durable. But we went with this with Saquon. Cool,
My
man.
apologies, I'm DLCPO, so it's the
Okay, cool.
ACR.
Look at she's doing big things, y'all. So
And I'm updating the live projection tracker for the ACR right now. So
don't mess that up. So, you know, it's one of those things where yeah, you're right. What's more important, winning. So I think by them signing Waddle, it's showing Tua, listen, we want you to win. We got you, Reek. We signed Waddle. You know, and I know Brother Cruz said he injury prone. I get it, listen. But he's there. And if he's healthy, guess what? You ain't stopping them when they can go both together. It's just as long as Tua don't mess it up, you good. And the thing about that kind of system with them kind of receivers, you bring a competent quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over. Look what Brock Purdy's doing in 49ers with Ayuk and Debo and McCaffrey and Kettle. He ain't turning. He's just not giving the ball away. You know what I'm saying? He's not the reason they're winning, but he's not the reason they're losing either. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have the same thing in Miami if you think about it. So I think that's good for them.
you said who were the names? Like when I was getting a phone call?
No, when you said DJ Moore and Keenan, I thought about the team Bears. You have the Bears, the Texans, the Eagles, the Dolphins. Who was the other ones you said? Oh, and the Bucs.
Titans.
And the
The
Bucks.
Titans now.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Diggs and Nico Collins, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and then now Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
And then you got Hopkins and you got Ridley.
Yep. But they're not paying him.
But I don't think Hopkins is getting over 20 mil per season.
Yeah. I don't think so either. But
So yeah, those are the 5 teams with both their wide receivers getting over 20 mil a season.
Bro, that's crazy. But honestly, they're making sure the quarterback got no excuse. They're taking the excuse away by paying people. You know, like we said, Caleb Williams getting benched in OTAs for throwing 7 picks in a row, and now they want to start the Bears on Hard Knocks this season. Only one team has had a winning season afterwards and went to the playoffs at least in Hard Knocks. I think it was the Jets. How do you think it's going to impact this young quarterback having Hard Knocks? He's already getting enough attention. He farts in the wrong direction, is publicized on ESPN, NFL, all that good stuff. June, what do you think? How you think is Hard Knocks a good thing for the Bears or a bad thing for the Bears?
It's a good thing for the Bears due to the lack of success they've had, you know, the past few years. Unfortunately, not blaming Fields, but overall as a team. So I think it's good in that aspect of things because it kind of puts like a whole different type of pressure on them. Because now the world gets to see what you have. But then again, on the flip side, the world gets to see what you have. And what I mean by that is that pressure they're going to put on that young quarterback. Because he talked a good game in college, you know, that good stuff during the draft. But we don't know what our GM minds are thinking in the long run. Is he a player that could adjust? How can he play under pressure, so on and so forth? So I don't think it's good for that quarterback, and I think it's good for the team.
Okay. Bree, who's benefiting more? The Bears, the NFL, or Caleb Williams?
I think it's a little bit of both the NFL and Caleb Williams.
Okay.
And the reason why is because one, the NFL, it's going to bring viewership. It's going to bring people seeing what the Bears are going to be doing during training camp and their offseason and their OTAs and all that stuff. Caleb Williams, I think it's going to benefit him because it's going to, one, show him, but shows personality more, which I feel like he's also going to like hype up for the cameras to get these people to love him.
Okay. I'll take that. I don't like it. Me personally, not for him. I think he has enough pressure on him. I think he has enough build on him. And a lot has to do with stuff that he said and kind of brought up on himself. Success in college, Now the fact that like we said on the play call, Adunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
And you're throwing 7 interceptions at OTAs.
yeah, you got Swift at running back. I forgot who, and Cole Kmet is their tight end. Like if I was a rookie quarterback with some kind of at least an ounce of greatness to go in the first round, good enough to go in the first round, you got to think I'm looking at this like, God, I'm set up good right here. I got weapons. I got veteran weapons. I got a brand new weapon. I got a good running back. You know, I got a tight end that's strong, and I got to come out here and perform. And then now I'm being put in the world to see what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. I just don't like it, but it's good for the NFL. It's good for the Bears, their brand.
No, and I agree, which he has a team built around him. They went and they beefed up their O-line, something that they didn't give Justin Fields.
Nope.
He has amazing weapons, right? Running back, tight end, and wide receivers. He has to prove something. He has to. So there's a lot of pressure on him. And if he fails, what does that tell you about him?
Correct. And that's where the issue comes in for me. It's like, man, if you go in there and you lay you lay an egg and you're a dud, bro, they're gonna talk about you. You're not gonna be. It's not safe. It's gonna be like, man, look at this guy. Is a straight dud. So this is something I want to talk about because it might take some time up. I just saw it today. I mentioned it June earlier, Bree. So on Speak, they said Kurt Warner said Aaron Rodgers needs to win one more Super Bowl to be in the GOAT conversation. Do you agree with that statement from Kurt Warner?
Can you repeat the statement?
It said Kurt Warner said Aaron Rodgers needs one more Super Bowl to be in the GOAT conversation.
See, that's kind of hard because he has like 5 MVPs, you know?
Yes, 4.
He's been to 4. He has 4 MVPs. He's been to the NFC conference like 30 million times. He has a Super Bowl win. He's constantly in the play. Like, it's hard, you know? And he did it, like he was doing it prior to Devontae Adams being on that team too, with mediocre type style wide receivers and weapons. He didn't always have Aaron Jones. He definitely didn't have Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams when he won a Super Bowl against the best defense in the NFL, the 2010 Pittsburgh Steelers, you know? So that's hard to say. I don't, his name definitely like people are always going to remember Aaron Rodgers, you know? GOAT conversation, maybe. It's hard. It's hard. He has a lot of accolades other than just 2 Super Bowls, you know?
No, he only got 1.
No, what if he was to win 2?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I'll give my answer afterwards, but June, go ahead. What you think?
I mean, he's lasted in the league 20 years. I mean, that should tell you something off the rip.
It ain't been that
Right? 20,
long.
is it 20 years?
About 20 years.
Yeah, it's 20 years.
I think I want to say
I think this year makes his 20th season, right? So, and that's just me just thinking. I want to say I'm almost correct. I'm about 97% sure. But anyway,
yep, he's in his 20th season.
yeah. So he's been in the league 20 years. I think that alone should put him in the category of somewhat. I mean, he's a successful quarterback. You're not going to last in the league more than 6 years, more than 3-4 years as a starting quarterback. And yet alone everything that he's done. Yeah, he's only has one Super Bowl, and he has had plenty of opportunities and over 500 seasons, so on and so forth. But I don't know. I think he paid his dues, and for that fact alone, in my opinion, I think he's good money.
Because you also got to think, not a lot of quarterbacks can last 20 years, let alone 15 years as a starting quarterback.
Who can last 7 years as a starting quarterback with no success?
Starting quarterback, right? Like especially these new age quarterbacks now, like they're not.
I mean, My
They
dude
don't
made
make
more money in how long did it take him to bring that flag out? Let me cut you off. He made more money within that 4 seconds
Yeah.
than most of these quarterbacks made the
the
entire
15
year.
seconds. Yeah, the 15 seconds.
So
But you also got to remember, oh, sorry, Frank, but you also got to remember they don't make quarterbacks like Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Big Ben anymore. They don't. You think Caleb Williams is going to last 20 years? And do you think he's going to be in a GOAT conversation with one Super Bowl ring and four NFL MVPs?
I mean, we don't know what he's going to be. Look at Mahomes. 4 Super Bowl
Yeah.
appearances, 3 rings.
Yeah, that's true.
2 NFL MVPs. I think 3 Super Bowl MVPs. I mean,
I hopes.
we talk about this guy, you know, and right now, let's just be honest. Mahomes wins a 3rd Super Bowl back to back to back. He three-peats. Be the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to three-peat. Some people will have the thought of putting him up there as the GOAT. Because he did,
If he three-peats.
yeah, if he does, because he did something that Brady never did. So
Because I was thinking, I was like, he didn't three-peat because it was Eagles and 4 Eagles was Rams.
if he does, you know, somebody will propel him up there. Or if not, it would be Brady and him. You know, 1 and 2, 2 and 1. It just, you know. So I think even if he wins one more, you're not in the GOAT conversation. I'm sorry. You look at Peyton Manning, he got 2 rings with 5 NFL MVPs. You look at who else? Ben got 2 rings.
But Peyton Manning's not in the GOAT conversation?
No, I'm saying to put Aaron Rodgers up there, you have Peyton up there. That's what I'm saying. You got these guys up there that some people consider Peyton Manning the GOAT.
But yeah, but it depends on like GOAT conversations because you might think somebody's not a GOAT, but they're probably up there in the GOAT conversations, you know? We know for a fact Big Ben is in the GOAT conversations. Peyton Manning, people are saying Drew Brees should be in the GOAT conversation. You have Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, you know, like you have all these people. So it depends. Like I would say, yeah, if he wins one more based on his accolades and everything he's done in 20 seasons, like this year, I want to say was his first year, no, his second year because the Packers didn't make it to playoffs last year. No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
No, or his last year there. But like he got out at the beginning of the season, you know, like imagine if he didn't get injured with all those weapons. The Jets could have made it through the playoffs.
More weapons now.
Yeah.
Better defense, a better offense. He's got what he needs. I just feel to me, Aaron. So okay, I'll tell you what. Not necessarily a GOAT, but probably one of the best or great talents we've seen in a long time. His arm strength, like his throwing of the ball, is not like other people. He's special in that. You know, we talk about it all the time. We've seen him throw Hail Marys. We've seen him do the sidearms, the no-look passes, all the stuff that Mahomes is doing right now. This guy was doing before. And with different people. Like you said, he won a Super Bowl with James Jones, I want to say Donald Driver, Randall Cobb, who else? I forgot who their running back was. But it was the first time he had like a top 10 defense. That's why. So, you know, he went all the way.
Oh yeah, that's when what's his name? Clay Matthews was on the defense and all that stuff.
So, you know, to me, it's I don't think he needs to even if he wins one more, you can go up there and then somebody's gonna say, well, he got 4 NFL MVPs, but Peyton has 5. Oh, and Peyton's been to more Super Bowls. You gotta think this guy's only been to 1. And we have people like Mahomes that's been to 4. Who else? Jalen, Joe, been to 1 each. Matthew Stafford won a ring in that time. A guy ain't been winning nothing his whole life.
Yeah, and that makes sense, Frank, but you can't compare them. What else has Matthew Stafford done? Yeah, nothing. So yeah, just he has 1 Super Bowl ring. What all does Aaron Rodgers has besides 1 Super Bowl ring? All these accolades.
Yeah, the 4 MVPs. He has that, and he has I don't know how many divisional titles they won in the North when they were running it.
A lot.
So
probably like 19. I'm kidding.
Nah, he got.
I know.
He has some, and I get what you're saying. There's other accolades and stats you could put up there to do it. Kurt Warner went to 2 of them, and he's in the Hall of. He won 1. You know what I'm saying? was bagging groceries before he came and played in the NFL. Like, that's crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this year with Aaron Rodgers. NFL will try an electronic measuring system during the preseason.
That like LED measuring thingy.
Yeah, they got something they're gonna try, and I think they
A technology where it's like a laser, that laser thing.
took it from
No.
another. They took that idea from another sport or another thing. So I'm gonna start with June. June, what do you think the impacts of this are? Like, if they say preseason done, we want to use it. What do you think is gonna happen?
Using what?
That laser for marking of the ball. You
Oh.
know how they're like, instead of using a chain, they're like, oh, the ball was short, but it wasn't short.
I like it.
I love it. Like,
I like
it
it.
can't. The refs can't cheat. Like we
man.
all three of us have full hand seen the refs cheat on giving the team a first down when they were supposed to have it, and they said the ball was short. I'm gonna give you an example. The Bills and Patriots game last season, when it was a clear first down. Do you remember that? It was like at the end of the game, and if they would have got that first down, they would have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
And they would have won the game. They would have beat the Bills.
Yeah, and we couldn't challenge.
And
No,
I couldn't. It was 2 minutes left.
I want to know more about it in a sense.
I think what it is basically, instead of using the chains to pull to see if they hit the first down marker, they're going to use like a laser from where the ball was to the first down marker and see if the ball, the tip of the ball is like right at the tip of the laser mark, then it's a first down.
So what's the difference between the camera on the pylon for the first down?
Because of how they pull the chains and stuff. If you notice, sometimes they pull it tight, sometimes they don't.
Okay.
A laser
and also you have, you know how the ball like goes,
Yeah,
where's my damn
they move.
prop at? Here goes my prop. I got the prop right here, fellas. So, you know what I mean? If this is the line and they cross it like this, and they be like, nah, he was short. But with that new technology, if that thing hit right there and he was good, then you're good.
I
He was short.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see how it's going to work. So that means you got to watch preseason this year, and make sure that they're doing it right. What else I was going to tell you? I guess the last thing we're going to talk about real quick is the Bleacher Report said Jeff Shorts said the problem in Denver is Sean Payton's ego. Peyton and the GM are having some problems and issues. So I'll start with June because Bree's taking care of something real quick. What's your take on that?
I think he was a highly sought after head coach.
Okay.
And after he retired, right? So he retired, became an analyst or whatever it is that he was doing on his time off. And he was highly sought after. And then he got put in a situation where they said, hey, you're gonna be our guy. I don't know what conversation, obviously we don't know what conversations took place behind closed doors when they recruited him with Elway and the rest of the Broncos organization. But I'm pretty sure that probably added to that ego that he already had.
Yeah.
And when the team wasn't as successful as it was supposed to be, even though they gained some success at one point, I thought they were destined for that wild card spot. I thought they were until he got benched. But I always thought that with the changes that he tried to implement and the immediate impact I think he was looking for, I think that probably stroked his ego even more, especially when it wasn't panning out, when he wasn't winning. So maybe that GM is now seeing like, hey, my guy, like, hey, pump your brakes a little bit, man. Maybe there's a bigger picture to this, so on and so forth. And God knows how much he had in place or how much input he had getting rid of Judy and some of the other players that they were shopping around.
I think he had a lot of input in it, to be honest with you. I think you said he was highly sought out. I think next to Harbaugh, he was the next big, before Harbaugh was coming back to the NFL, it was Sean Payton coming out of stepping away from the booth and coming in talking football and coaching again. Everybody wanted him. Everybody saw what he did in New Orleans. I just feel like he hasn't he didn't duplicate that again in New Orleans either. You know? And it generational talents, Drew Brees, Peyton's, Mahomes, Ben's, excuse me, Lamar, all these guys, they don't come around often.
Right.
And sometimes it takes one player to make your career. Does he have an ego? I don't know. But does he have a sense of pride? Does he have pride in his name, pride in his coaching? He has Super Bowl ring. Changed the culture in New Orleans. They went from the Aints to the Saints. Yeah, he has that. And I think that what he did was you brought me here and you wanted me to change the environment. I didn't bring this guy in. I didn't draft this guy. I didn't trade for this guy. They don't want to be here. Let's get rid of them. He's not going to. I think also the problem is that with, like, let's say with Russell, the previous management allowed Russell certain things. Oh, have your own office, have your own parking spot, have this, have that. And he didn't earn it. He's coming off the merit of what he did in Seattle. So I think with Sean Payton, is it ego? Is it pride? I don't know. But
I missed the whole thing. Sorry.
So Bleacher Report said that Jeff Short said the problem in Denver is Sean Payton's ego. And that is causing a problem between him and the GM.
Yeah, I can see it.
So you agree that you think he has a strong ego and that's affecting everything, or is it pride?
I think it's both.
Okay. I think he got rid of I think he got rid of Russell because it wasn't who he wanted. I didn't bring you in. And Russell didn't conform to him. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, excuse me, I think, like I say, I think you're going to see a different Russell in Pittsburgh. But I also feel the leadership. The leadership is going to reach him. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if it's who you think they're going to get rid of then? Let's be honest. Who you think they're going to get rid of between him and the GM?
I think the GM is gone.
They got to get rid of GM.
This crazy thing, man. That's the crazy part about this whole thing.
They paid him. They paid Sean Payton. The owners that the people that own Walmart, I forgot their last name, they bought the Broncos. So I didn't bring this GM. I'm bringing in Sean Payton. That's who my billionaire mindset, who owns a company, a fortune company, I'm bringing in who I want, and that's him. And if he doesn't like this guy, then I'm getting rid of that guy, and I'm going to bring whoever he wants because that's why I invested my money into. Think about it. Broncos don't even got a quarterback. Who's their quarterback, bro? Really? They got 3 quarterbacks. Stedham, somebody else, and somebody else. Who's going to be their starter?
Yeah.
I think Ritter. Who they drafted? No, they drafted, was it J.J. McCarthy? Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
No, J.J. McCarthy went to it can't be the Banana Broncos.
So Jarrett Stidham is the starting quarterback for the Broncos. Who did they draft, Bree?
They drafted Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, that's who they drafted. And they had one more guy in the background. So you going to tell me you going into this NFL season with Stidham as your starter for now, Bo Nix and somebody else, and they're going to be competing for the 1 or 2, the 2 spot or the 1 spot. The Broncos ain't going to do nothing this year. And Sean Payton knows that. So when it comes down,
a lot of people think that Bo Nix is going to be the best quarterback coming out of this draft.
He has about 66 starts.
Yeah, he's like 45 years old.
Yeah, the guy should not. When he comes in the NFL, the only thing that should catch him off guard is the. But as far as comfortability and experience and being in that pocket and throwing that ball, he should be very comfortable. He has a lot of starts. 66. How many games they play in college? 12 in the regular season.
13.
13. So that okay, so 1366. That's what? How many plays that he how many seasons he started for that matter?
Five.
You said how many?
5.
5. There you go. 5 seasons he started in the NFL. That's more than Caleb, more than Burrow, more than Trevor, more than Lamar, more than Mahomes, more than CJ Stroud. Who's the other guy that went to the Panthers? Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Yep. More than the good Anthony Richards. More than all these guys starting pretty much that are brand new. He has more experience. So I want to see what they're gonna do. And like I said, if I'm the owner, I didn't bring the GM, but I paid the head coach, and he got a Super Bowl. So I'm gonna get rid of the GM, and I'm gonna bring who he wants in.
Did you guys talk about the news that came out about the Jaguars today while they started their investigation on the 2 girls?
No, I didn't bring that up. The McManus whole situation on the
No,
plane.
but what they found on the plane.
No, I didn't know much about it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this came out today, and marijuana and alcohol were being used on the Jaguars team plane back from London.
Oh shit.
The substances are a major nobody NFL, and the team will likely face punishment.
Oh well. Listen. All things good. Hey, all things good things come to an end eventually, and we all have to pay a price. That's one thing they talked about when you're trying to win, right? When you're trying to go back to back and you're trying to do certain things, you got to contest with other things. Look at the Chiefs. Their guy has a warrant out for dogs, for the abuse of dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, even dogs caged up with no food or water for days.
Yep. So I don't know
But
how.
did you hear the thing? Did you hear the entire story was a little crazy?
Mm-mm.
So the entire story was actually based off of he owns a hookah lounge in that city, right? And the personnel that don't agree with the lounge are believed to have staged the dogs and to make it look like
Did he
because
leave?
it's his rental property. You know, he went on pause. So that's what he said. He said he's being staged by a group of folks that don't agree with his hookah lounge in that city, which is his rental property that he does not live in. Does that make sense?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he has like a strong case for that. Because animal cruelty is really horrible. Yeah, that's crazy. I hope he has like a strong case for it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, pretty screwed up if
But
that's the situation right there.
he turned, as of 2 hours ago, he turned himself into Tuscaloosa County Jail. Man, the Chiefs are just having a crazy off season.
But that goes back to trying to maintain and win. You know what I'm saying? You gotta account for the damage, the attrition, the problems you're gonna face when you're trying to win a Super Bowl or trying to go back again. So it's gonna be interesting.
There will be go ahead.
No, I saw something. It was like 100 days left until the NFL starts.
That was last weekend.
We're probably less than that now. So
Probably like a 96, 95.
Yeah.
So there will be 3 different editions of Hard Knocks this year. You have the New York Giants off-season edition, free agency and draft. You have Chicago Bears regular training camp, and then we also have an in-season version for which, for the first time, we'll follow all 4 teams inside of a division. What division should they film?
I say the North, AFC North is the toughest division.
Mm-hmm.
The toughest one. 3 out of 4 teams got the toughest schedule. 1, 2, and 3. You know what I'm saying? The top 3.
Oh, you're so. That was the only correct answer.
I mean, who else you gonna really follow? You know, the NFC East. I don't think it's gonna be a big. It's gonna be it's gonna be Eagles and Cowboys. We know that already. I think the Eagles should.
Why not the Commanders? I think the Commanders.
People are sleeping on the Commanders.
I'm
They
not
could do
sleeping on
something.
them.
Do not see all their off-season like
Yeah,
the
but
moves.
It still has to.
Like,
It still has to come in fruition. And what
they
we
got Jaden Daniels as quarterback.
yeah, but he hasn't played a game.
Heisman winning trophy,
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
He has. Look at Trevor.
They got Eckler, the rushing touchdown leader last year, and
Again,
the
I'm
year
not
before
so.
that.
Yeah, and
No,
you,
I think the
McLaurin.
smartest for Hard Knocks to do to follow a division throughout the season is the AFC North. Like you said, toughest division in the entire NFL. 3 teams have the hardest schedule in the entire NFL this season. That's the only right answer. No ifs, ands, buts. But I want 90% camera time on Pittsburgh Steelers.
but now,
So
if you're looking at what's gonna sell, I might go West, AFC West. Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Mahomes and fucking. Oh, excuse my language. I don't know if you guys curse on all sides. But
We do. So here's why, right? And I'm glad you.
why the hell would Hard Knocks follow? Out of every division in the NFL, the AFC East. Oh, why? Because the Taylor Swift fans can watch fucking Travis Kelce's butt.
That's part of it, right? That's part.
Oh, my apologies. All right. So you think Hard Knocks is going to follow the AFC West? Why? Because the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce's dating fucking Taylor Swift. No. If they're gonna follow a team on the West, I will follow the fucking Chargers.
But that's why you ain't let me finish.
And Jimmy Jim.
Here's the deal.
But the Raiders, I mean, I would follow the Raiders to watch Max Crosby. So
hey, you gotta look at the bigger picture, right? It's about money, it's about ratings, about all that, right? So we can go with
but it's Hard Knocks. It's not, let's flaunt these men to these girls because of the fucking dumbass Chiefs and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. If I'm watching Hard Knocks and they're following a division, I'm going to watch the AFC North and I'm gonna watch them fucking teams in that division just bully the shit out of each other.
But that's
football.
That's us as a fan. That's us as fans.
Football. Girls aren't watching Hard Knocks, but girls who watch football.
Well, no, listen, what you need to watch, what they're gonna sell it as a team trying to three-peat for the first time in NFL history, with the greatest quarterback playing the game right now, with the greatest head coach coaching, with Travis Kelce, who's the greatest tight end, right? That's what they're gonna say. And then you say, oh, but now stop. You got Harbaugh on the other side in LA with the Chargers and Justin Herbert trying to overthrow the Chiefs. Then you have the bullies of the West with the Raiders. And who's the one that's left over? I don't even know the other team. But no. The
Broncos.
See, and the Broncos are the little bitches that's gonna get beat up. So look, the whole sale behind would be the whole Chiefs.
I will understand if they want to do a fucking documentary on the goddamn Chiefs. No one gives a fuck about the Chiefs unless they're fucking Taylor Swift fans. I would say if you're doing Hard Knocks, these little Taylor Swift fans and these girls ain't watching Hard Knocks. Men and women who watch sports are watching Hard Knocks. If you're gonna follow a division, AFC North is the only division. That's the only one. And if you're gonna go NFC, I would follow the NFC West.
49ers.
Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Nah. 49ers.
So we're going to follow the NFC South?
No.
The North?
No, we're going to go with the East.
The East? Oh, 2 teams on the East? I will watch.
Fuck yeah. The Cowboys, America's team. Why is it the Cowboys are the #1 franchise in sports? They're worth billions of dollars. Why? And them
Because the
fucking
world is full
six and
of,
30
you know
years.
why? Because the air that we breathe and all the pollution makes people delusional. So when people hear delusion, like they think it's normal.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not disagreeing with you. I would watch the North.
They were America's team because fucking Troy Aikman was their goddamn quarterback. That's why.
Again, I want you to hear before we let June talk. I would watch the North because of the competition. Because the North, AFC North, is the toughest division right now on paper. We got to see how that shit unfolds in September. June, who you going with? What division? If you could watch a Hard Knock division, who would you follow?
Right, you don't say not to be biased or anything. Wow, she's gonna say it.
Well, not to be biased or anything.
You know, right?
No. It's funny, man, because I'm sitting here. I was legitimately looking at it. I mean, do you not think that the NFC North may be an interesting division to follow? I mean, we got the Lions that were a game away from the Super Bowl. You got
I
the
will follow.
Packers that you got the Packers that were a game away from. I mean, a matter of fact, a pass away, a field goal away from beating the Niners. You got the Vikings that I think that's the only team there that's kind of suspect because they can't get the wide receiver things together. And then you got the Bears that got the #1 draft pick and all these additions. So I think that NFC North wouldn't be a bad division to look at, given all those plays that are going into it. Because if you compare those things to, I don't know, what, the East are they're kind of like not the East, what is it, the North? We're talking expectations here. We're talking what have these teams in the North really done versus the AFC North and the NFC? Let's really compare teams if we really want to. The
Well,
Steelers,
they should just do the Norse because if we're talking about it, those are probably the only AFC and NFC North teams divisions are the only ones that are going to be looked at as
100%.
a division
I think that.
of hungerness, huh?
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But that's what I would look at. Just given like the different dynamics of the offseason and the draft. I think they're both of these divisions are gonna bring a lot into the upcoming year, which is a little scary to be really honest with you. I think it's a little scary. Competition wise, I think it's pretty cool. And honestly, I hate to say this, but not really. But I'm gonna write the Bills off. I think the Bills had their time frame and they lacked the execution of their opportunity.
The disrespect you have for Keon Coleman.
Yeah, but he's one.
What do you think?
I think he's gonna be great, but I think he's just one player.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to see it. Keon Coleman, I just you saw him practicing with CeeDee Lamb, so
I told you they were cousins.
they are.
I told you that.
I don't remember. So CeeDee Lamb and
Keon Coleman, they're cousins, like they're blood cousins.
no way, for real?
I told you that, Frank.
Oh my God.
When his first interview went like fucking bonk, like it went viral. They were like, this kid is funny, like this kid is a star. And I was like, do you know who his cousin is? You were like, no, who? I was like, CeeDee Lamb. And you're like, oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, you remember. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Talking about that. That's right. Yeah. I like him, man. Keon, that's I rock with him. His actual press conference won a lot of people over. But anyway, that's what we got today with Offsides Podcast. Listen, next week we'll have more news. So before I go around and close it out, June, you anything you want to put out?
No, I mean we just signed Ross, the what do you call it? The Giants receiver to a 1-year deal. Obviously filling in that gap that Devontae Parker left after his apparent retirement.
That was
So
weird that he did that too. I don't know why he would do that. But anyways,
I don't know. Maybe he didn't like that role as a wide receiver 3. I don't know. But I mean, what do you expect? That we're given that situation over there. That is. But yeah, I don't have anything else to put out, Frank. Uh, super dope show as always. You know, we were missing Pete and Main Man 300 grand. Um, CDO of the nation. And I say CDO of the nation, man, because if he's listening to this, he knows damn well, man, that guy has more CDO hours than a Honda Civic can last on the highway. Good Lord, he stays a CDO. But nah, man, super dope. Glad to be here, Pete, man. I love Pete, man, because Pete and I have this strong bond that I didn't know we had, and I'm always grateful for it, especially in the hate that we have for the Cowboys. So, Pete, I'm thinking about you, bro.
Yeah, both also have like calm personalities.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't even get amped. All right, Bree, what you got?
Thank you guys for having me on all sides. Like, this is cool. Like, I feel like a little like celebrity that got invited to a different podcast with the same people I work with, you know? But no, it was awesome. All I'm gonna say is like these people sitting out because they want bigger contracts, like be grateful you're a millionaire, you know? Like also Brandon Ayuk, he's sitting out until he gets paid more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like
Really quick, Bree. Frank, he asked this question earlier. I know you guys probably talked about it before. I'm not sure. So I guess the question to you is, and to you, Frank, really fast. The players that are sitting out, do they fall under that Brady quotation that we spoke about earlier? The Ayuk, the Higgins, the Chase.
Oh, most definitely they fall under that Brady quotation that he said when he went to the Mike Rubin's rookie sit down. Yeah. Most definitely. But the only the difference between Ayuk and T. Higgins is that T. Higgins is not signing his franchise tag. Yeah. Which means if he don't sign that shit by July 15th, I believe, like he can't participate in nothing.
Yeah, but
these players are still under contract, like Brandon Ayuk, Jamar Chase, they're still under contract. So regardless on if they show up to practice or OTAs or minicamp, they still got to fucking suit up and play.
They actually, like Bree explained, when they're on a franchise tag is different. The ones that are not and they're negotiating a contract, they still have a contract. According to the CBA, from what I read or heard, it's they have to play regardless. They just can't sit out. So you either play or you're not. You know, do they fall into that Brady thing? Yeah, of course they do. Look, it's a team, and sometimes you have to play your part on a team, whether you want to play that part or not. And a lot of these guys, they want the money. They forget, and then guess what? Yeah, you want the money, but again, like I said, what if you go out and you win a ring? What if T. Higgins right now and Jamar Chase said, you know what, we're gonna go play this year, and we're gonna give it everything we got, no excuses. We're gonna push through, and they actually go in and win a Super Bowl this year. Do you know how much money they can demand the following year? T. Higgins himself will be probably wide receiver 1 with multi-million-dollar like ridiculous amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
What's up?
These players who are the crazy part is these players who are wanting a new contract, wanting more money, they don't have a fucking Super Bowl ring. Do you see fucking Cooper Kupp saying, give me more fucking money? OBJ is going anywhere he wants to play because he already has a ring. He don't give a fuck how much he's making. Like, you don't see these players with NFL Super Bowl rings saying, "Oh, I want more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, I want this, or I'm not playing." These
Miko
motherfuckers
Hardman.
don't have anything, huh?
Miko
Like,
Hardman has three rings, and you don't
and
see.
he hasn't been asking for shit. It's the players who don't have rings that want more. Like, is money what you're worried about, or championships what you're worried about?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, with that being said, Bree, thank you for coming on. You can follow her at the Bree Network. Also, Play Call. Frank presents the play with us. Like June said, we're down 2, but we recouped real good. We called our sister on here who came ready with the heat. This is a Offsides podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We got some interesting things coming down the pipe. And stay tuned in for next week. Have a good night. Peace.